Good morning. It's morning for me. I just woke up and I'm about to put out this video, but I wanted to give a little bit of a disclaimer because the trend that I'm talking about in this video is not something that anyone should do. If you're doing it, you shouldn't be. And I hope you're, already aware of that, but I don't want anything in this video to be misconstrued as, me supporting theft, especially from teachers in schools that are criminally underfunded. So I already say this in the video, but the situation has continued to get worse. Or at least it's worse since I filmed the video, and I've talked to a lot of teachers, and I've heard tell from students of homecomings are being canceled. Some schools are going back into online school because the devious licks trend from TikTok is getting so bad. So I just wanted to say this little piece up front, so that you know where I stand, just so that, it contextualizes the rest of this video. I probably say all this stuff already. I probably am repeating myself. I probably didn't need to add this, but just wanted to do that before it goes live. So enjoy the video. Hello. We have an epidemic on our hands, and it's probably not what you think. It has come to my attention. There is a hot new trend on TikTok that's just stealing from school. That's the trend. It's theft. And it's a lot more interesting than I was expecting. So I posted on my second channel asking if there were any trends right now that I should know about on the internet, and people were like, talk about devious licks. And I was like, that sounds... what is that? It has a very strange name. And it turns out, for those who don't know, a lick could be like something that you stole. It could be your spoils. Devious, you know what that means. It just means you were a little ne'er-do-well. You were a little devil. So kids are stealing from school. It's become an epidemic, and it has escalated to a level that is pretty extreme, because stealing from school has been a thing since the beginning of time. Stealing various accoutrements is no new thing. But what is new is the clout, I guess, that can be gained from it, and thus we have a trend on our hands. It all started with this TikTok.
The trend began on September 6th when a TikToker posted a video pulling a hand sanitizer dispenser from a backpack alongside the text, "Only a month into school," and got this absolute devious lick, as if celebrating school's return with the steal.
All right, so like the narration wasn't super necessary, but the original TikTok has been deleted. The account is gone. That was just a martyr for the cause. So the first devious lick is a lick because they stole something, and devious because in a pandemic they chose to steal soap. Devious indeed. So the first one of these videos sets the stage for the rest of them. You're often seeing someone feverishly opening a JanSport backpack and pulling out what they stole. That would send shockwaves throughout the TikTok high schooler community. There are now thousands of these TikToks. And I get it. You just spent 2 years distance learning, separated from your friends and any other social interaction other than your family. The world is seemingly ending. You can't do anything about it. Not to mention, other than the pandemic, we're constantly talking about how we don't have much time on this earth if we don't take care of it. So you want to take out that frustration, and sometimes you take out that frustration by stealing an expo marker from school and talking about it as if you were a criminal mastermind. What's funny about these is not just the petty theft, but the fact that people are bragging about it publicly, and also the gall to brag about it publicly, because if it goes viral, that's cool, you got the clout, but also you're gonna get caught. I would never do something like this because I'm a complete square, but I totally do understand. I want to show you a few more of these so that you get an idea of the trend as a whole. Second week and we hitting an absolutely disrespectful lick, devil emoji. Safety scissors. I stole the scissors that are useful for cutting construction paper and other arts and crafts from school. Ain't nobody cutting paper safely on my watch. So you've got your run-of-the-mill stuff like soap dispensers and bathroom mirrors. But then it starts to get into the more high ticket items like a projector or a smart board or a microscope. Oh, you're gonna call my parents because I stole something? You can't. I stole the phone. Good luck having a conference call now, losers. So, you know, stealing signs, that's pretty common. The most devious part here is stealing the high voltage sign. I feel like that's a little bit of a hazard. Damn. Now people are gonna speed through the school zone. That is devious. No, someone can get hurt. Are those battery powered? I honestly had no idea. I never considered it. Honestly, not a lot of people talk about how this trend is educational. So then you get into the more expensive stuff. You've got the projector. You've got the microscope, of course. And then you get into the like, I don't even know what to call this, just straight up vandalism. So this is one where maybe someone took the whole sink. I don't know how they would have gotten away with it without someone seeing them carrying a sink. It's not really something that fits in a backpack. More likely, I feel like this is less a devious lick and more like a devious routine maintenance. So the children are our future. This is the next generation, and they're making fantastic decisions. I went ahead and blurred this person's face out, but they didn't. So I'm looking out for you, but don't do it again. What are you doing? What are you doing? People are getting more and more dramatic. They're further away from the backpack. They're opening up the backpack more violently. They're having fun with it. They're playing with it. Another thing to point out here is the escalation of the language. Obviously, devious lick is said in jest. Then you've got another profoundly scandalous lick. My personal favorite. Merely 2 fortnights in Summer's Inn, and I hath performed a truly malevolent lick. See, we've escalated so far in the devious licks arms race that I feel nothing looking at somebody stealing a clock. That's baby stuff. Did somebody really steal a street light? I don't know. It's even gotten to the point where people just take TikToks of things they want to steal. Ooh, damn, that smartboard making me want to act up. First of all, the Oxytron 3000. Your caption needs work. Devious lick from school. It's a little too direct. You gotta be flowery with it. And then just toilet paper. Steal the toilet next time. Stealing toilet paper is just a regular crime. You know, we all did that at the beginning of the pandemic. Just me. See, this is the good stuff. You steal the dispenser and then you dispense. It's a way of asserting dominance over the lick. They took the divider. Yeah, the divider's gone. And then it finally reaches a boiling point where the schools have to respond.
Because of the antics of a few, unfortunately, we have had to close the purple bathroom for the boys. We don't have soap in any of the boys' restrooms, nor do we have any more soap dispensers. You will not be able to thoroughly wash your hands. When we catch you, there will be consequences. Please stop this behavior now. Thank you. Have a lovely weekend.
the least believable have a lovely weekend of all time. This poor school, it has nothing left. This is like one of the first responses I saw from the schools. But then I wanted to learn more. I wanted to see what the students on the ground were actually experiencing with this trend, as well as the teachers who are seemingly more impacted, or at least could shed some light as to how the school as a whole is impacted. So I tweeted about this, asking for people to DM me their stories. And other than one guy who just said a cop wrote this, I did get a lot of responses. I got too many responses, actually. I can't even read all the responses that I got. But what I learned from this is that a resounding, this is happening at a lot of people's schools. The sentiment among students is a bit varied. A lot of people find it funny, and a lot of people find it an inconvenience, as you might, especially if you enjoy going to the bathroom. Yeah, the trends at my school. There's legit no soap dispensers. How does that make you feel? This is maybe my favorite response, is to like the general sentiment I was hearing. I mean, it's funny until it gets to your school. Like, I'm just trying to wash my hands. Some of these antics are unverifiable. Like, I've seen official emails from schools and stuff, but some of the stories that people are sending me, I have no way of knowing whether or not they're real, but they are funny. Some kid went to use the restroom and came back without a shoe. Like someone robbed his shoe while he was sitting in the stall. He had to call his dad to drop off new shoes. I would have just gone home at that point. That's not so much a devious lick as it is ruining Darren's day. I heard this a couple of times. People at my school tried to steal a urinal, but they couldn't get it off and just flooded the bathroom instead. This person went on to say that they had to close down the bathrooms, and that's, backed up by some of the announcements that we were hearing. I was just like, what are you supposed to do now? And they said, hold it in, I guess. That's not the answer that you want to hear. Every soap dispenser is gone, 10 Chromebooks stolen, 2 tops of the urinals disappeared, 1 stall door. Every person who works in the front office had their name tag stolen, and a chair in the choir. And that's just the high school. I don't know what else they're referring to. Like, is there a middle school that's also affected? Have the students also come to their personal home and started stealing things as well? I truly got too many of these to read. So if you sent me your story about devious licks, thank you very much. And I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. Somebody stole a framed picture of my pre-calc teacher's family off her desk. Dude, absolutely devious lick. I stole a family heirloom. That's actually just straight up a John Mulaney joke also. I'm a middle school teacher. All the soap dispensers from the boys' bathrooms have been stolen. I've resorted to keeping my room camera permanently on to ensure none of the books I bought with my own money for students to read get stolen. I'm personally pro-vandalism in order to cause trouble and stick it to an administration/school district that bleeds money to malicious textbook companies and dumb technology rather than putting that money towards things that help students. But I want to protect my personal investments and I want students to wash their hands, so I'm torn. I thought that was a really interesting perspective from a teacher because, there is some angle to sticking it to the administration. And I do know that, of these issues where, have you seen the price of textbooks? It of course does get to a point that's a little untenable. And public schools, especially in the United States, are like criminally underfunded. When I was in school, that would eat into the budget such that teachers had to supply a lot of things in their class with their own money. Like, for example, staples. I remember my psychology teacher being like, they won't pay for us to have staples, so I had to bring my own staples. My fear, being completely uneducated about this trend would just be that as the school has to sink more money into repairing the damages from the licks that are devious, it could exacerbate that problem and take away even more of the budget the teachers have to do things. I don't know. That's just a thought. Another take from a teacher that was really interesting is whether or not kids should even be in school right now, given the state of COVID, and pointed out that it would be really funny if this was the reason that kids were sent home and not the global pandemic. That's more food for thought. Here's a sad one. Just started as a math teacher, LMAO. Good thing about my class is that we're so underfunded there are no devious licks to hit. That's so sad. You want to at least have some devious licks to hit. It's a math class. You could steal some numbers. I had one kid in my class today who ripped a soap dispenser out of the bathroom at this weekend's football game. I told him to return it or I'd have to report him, and he looked at me like I was some horrible narc. It's hard being the cool teacher when there's licks to hit, I guess. At my school, basically every boy's bathroom has either a mirror, paper towel, toilet paper dispenser, or even sink stolen. One of my friends took our teacher's car emblem thing. He has a Honda, so he didn't care. Fucking eat your heart out, Honda. Apparently, dude, freaking roasted Honda's ass. Oh yeah, here's another, image of like just doors hanging from a school. It's like the end of the world. That's what this meme feels like. It's just like everybody's, it's just complete anarchy. I also received a number of like school-wide emails that were sent out in response to the devious licks trend. And most of them say exactly what you would expect. There's vandalism in the boys' restrooms. We've had to shut them down in order to repair them. It costs the school valuable resources, time and money. Limited, it kind of speaks to what I was saying about the risks of the licks, the licks risks, the risks of the licks. Another funny thing is that in pretty much 100% of the school-wide emails, TikTok is spelled incorrectly. It has come to our attention that there is a recent TikTok trend. Interesting choice to include the C on tick, but not on talk. Circulating that encourages students to take/steal things from their school and then post to the TikTok social media app. They're all threatening legal action in addition to school action, which makes sense. I mean, how do you expect the schools to respond? My favorite response from a school is someone sent me just the morning announcements from one of the high schools where the principal had to address this. First of all, it's hilarious because I haven't seen morning announcements since I was a child. It's funny to see the American flag and be led through the Pledge of Allegiance. Why do we do the Pledge of Allegiance at school? A little weird.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
So a lot of this, first of all, I can't show because I don't want to identify the school. So I'm going to blur a lot. This entire thing might be blurred. I just want to illustrate that this is a trend to which school administrators feel like they have to respond, and this is like one of my favorite responses, but I don't want to put the school on blast. The reason that the principal's response is so funny to me is that they used an argument that no student is going to relate to. No student is going to hear this argument and go, yeah, actually, I am going to stop like hitting devious licks from my school. And it starts with the football game.
Coming out, showing their spirit at the football game. Great student section. Tons of kids were there. Very respectful. And a lot of good sportsmanship being shown.
Very respectful, tons of sportsmanship being shown. The emphasis on this, will become clear very shortly.
Unfortunately, while that was going on, there was also very disrespectful behavior happening at the football game and last week in school in our bathrooms. What I'm talking about is damage being done, okay? What I want to ask students is, what kind of school do you want to attend? Do you want to attend a school where you have school spirit and people are respectful and they're happy to be here? Or do you want to go to a place where you have to sign in and out of the bathroom to go to the bathroom? You may be saying to yourself, what can I do? Mr. Wheeler, I don't know what to do. Well, if you see something, say something. Can you please show that slide? If you see any damage being done to the school or someone stealing anything in the school.
I've seen this from a bunch of schools. They're setting up anonymous tip lines so that people can snitch on who is hitting those diabolical devilish licks. And yeah, I've heard a number of things, from bathrooms being closed, having to sign into bathrooms, having the bathrooms being locked. I guess just in general not being able to access or use the bathroom, which is probably is not the best thing. It is so funny to me that you would sacrifice your ability to go to the bathroom for clout, but that's the path that we've chosen here with this trend. The reason that I don't think this argument is going to connect with many students is that I don't know who cares about school spirit. I just don't know if it's a motivator. Like, it's fun to like go to pep rallies and to like say the chants and to like wear the school colors and stuff, but I don't know if anybody who's posting on TikTok is going to be like, you're right, school spirit. You know what? you can have the exit sign back. I've actually reflected on this, and the microscope is yours again. But yeah, that's pretty much like what I wanted to talk about with this trend. It's very interesting because there is definitely a funny side to it. Like these videos are pretty funny, but then obviously there's the dark side, and people are always going to take something like this too far. This kind of thing has been happening for a long time. We just weren't broadcasting it on TikTok. You know, even weirder stuff happened when I was in school. Maybe I'll share some of those stories sometime. I've seen like dozens of people stealing soap dispensers. It's just like not even it doesn't affect me anymore. So I feel like it'll run its course, and you know, things will be back to normal. But it is a weird little moment in internet history that we're witnessing. If you're taking part in this, I'm not going to tell you what to do because I would have no ability to do that. Understand the risks of what you're doing. It's like I'm not going to sit here and celebrate it, but I am kind of going to laugh along with the internet as long as nobody gets hurt. Come to think about it, the fact that I'm talking about it probably means that it's not even cool anymore. It's become mainstream. Uh-oh, I ruined the fun. So sorry, everyone. It's been a pleasure. Goodbye.